They called him empty-headed. But when the fire swallowed the calm station, the only thing that saved an entire unit was the one thing he refused to throw away. A half-burned notebook nobody believed he could even read. At the dusty training fields of Fort Merrick, there was one soldier everyone mocked. Private Owen Mertz. Quiet. Slow. Never made eye contact. When the lieutenant asked, "Do you understand the map?" Owen simply nodded. Someone whispered, "Owen? Read a map? Please, his head's empty." Soon the nickname spread through the entire base. Empty-headed. The soldier who couldn't think. The soldier who couldn't learn. The soldier who would never matter. But no one knew what Owen did at night. Owen always carried a notebook in his pocket. Its cover charred, corners blackened, some pages burned into ash. Everyone assumed it was trash. One evening in the barracks, a soldier snatched it from him. "Come on, Owen! What's in here, huh? Blank pages?" Owen didn't fight back. He only protected the notebook. Because that notebook was the only thing he had left from his father. A decorated army captain who never returned from war. Inside were compass and direction codes, emergency extraction routes, old radio bypass frequencies, and a rare technique titled Signal Recovery When All Systems Fail. Owen appeared clueless. But the notebook wasn't. One night the base sirens screamed across the courtyard. Enemy saboteurs had been spotted near the ridgeline. Chaos erupted. Then the unthinkable happened. The main communications building, comm station, burst into flames. Power shut down. Radios went dead. The map room collapsed. And an entire patrol team on the mountain lost contact. They were walking straight into an ambush. And no one could warn them. The captain's face drained of color. "If we can't reach them, they're gone." As officers panicked, Owen stepped forward. He pulled the burned notebook from his pocket. The captain snapped. "Owen! Not now! That thing is a toy." For the first time, Owen spoke clearly. "Sir, my father's notes are in here. This notebook has manual signal bypass routes. We can reach the mountain squad without electricity." The captain froze. He grabbed the notebook, flipped through the pages. And his expression changed instantly. "These techniques. These are classified. Most soldiers today don't even know this system exists." Owen lowered his head. "I memorized every page, sir." The captain roared. "To the operations room, now!" Inside a smoke-filled room with failing equipment, Owen worked like someone possessed. He connected 3 broken cables. He rerouted power manually. He used a decades-old signal amplifier mentioned only in the notebook. No electricity. No network. No surviving tech. And yet, Owen created a mountain-wide voice signal using nothing but analog bypass tricks and raw understanding. The captain grabbed the mic. "Mountain squad! Fall back! Fall back!" Static surged. Then, a miracle. "Command? We hear you! How is this even possible?" They turned around. They lived. Every single one of them. That night the base was quiet. Not because nothing happened, but because everyone was trying to understand how it happened. At sunrise the captain ordered the entire battalion to assemble. Owen stood in the last row, head down as usual. The captain shouted, "This base is standing today because of one man." Everyone looked around. The captain pointed. "Private Owen Mertz. The soldier you call empty-headed." Gasps. Silence. The captain placed a hand on Owen's shoulder. "This burned notebook may look worthless, but the mind that mastered it saved dozens of lives." For the first time, the soldiers didn't laugh at Owen. They looked at him with something new. Respect. The smell of burned insulation still hung in the air. The ops center was half collapsed, light shafts piercing through the broken roof like cold knives cutting across the wreckage. Everyone was shaken, some injured, some frozen in confusion, some simply staring at the ruins without knowing what to do. But one man remained calm, Reed. His face was smeared with ash, his hands trembling slightly, yet his eyes, steady as stone. Sergeant Miller stormed toward him, fury boiling in his voice. "Reed! I told you 10 times, your stupid notebook!" Before he could finish, a distorted voice crackled through the emergency radios. "Mayday! Mayday! Squad 7, trapped, coordinates!" Static swallowed the last word. Miller's face drained of color. "Coordinates are gone! Damn it! Every digital log burned in that station!" Hopeless glances spread among the soldiers. But Reed quietly knelt and opened his scorched pack. Inside lay the notebook, its edges melted, its cover bowed, pages blackened. Yet still readable. Still alive. Miller stared. "No way! Reed, that thing survived?" Reed held it out. "This is their route," he said calmly. "And these markings, those patterns they used before the signal dropped. I memorized the old system. Fire can't erase it." The nearby soldiers drew closer, stunned. "You're telling me you can track them? From that?" Reed closed his eyes for a moment. "That's why I write things down, Sergeant. To remember what everyone else forgets." Silence fell. Miller finally snapped back into command mode. "Reed, you're on point. Everyone, follow him." The team moved instantly. Reed lifted the burned pages to the sunlight, reading scorched symbols, deciphering hand-drawn routes, wind calculations, terrain sketches. Every mark that had been mocked for years now glowed with purpose. Hours later, at the shadow of a narrow ridge, someone shouted, "Over here! They're alive!" Squad 7 was found. 2 severely wounded, all dehydrated, all believing they were already dead. How did you find us?" one whispered. "GPS was gone, radios dying." Miller simply pointed at Reed. "You used to call him empty-headed," he said. "This kid carried you here. Page by page." Reed said nothing. He just closed his notebook, the same notebook everyone joked about, and dusted the ash off its edges. The next morning, during formation, the camp was unusually silent. The commander stepped forward holding that same burned notebook. "Operator Reed," he said, "last night you saved an entire squad, with knowledge." He raised the notebook. "This was once a joke. Now it is a life-saving device." A wave of shame and admiration fell over the formation. Reed froze, uncomfortable, almost embarrassed. He never wanted praise. He lived only to be prepared. And everyone finally understood. Sometimes the quiet man hears the most. And sometimes the notebook they mock becomes the map that leads them home. Some men burn their notebooks. Some men save the world with one. And that night, the soldier they mocked as empty-headed wrote his name into the quiet history of those who listen in silence. The ones who don't shout, but still manage to be heard. Reed didn't ask for glory. He didn't demand recognition, applause, or medals. All he carried was a half-burned notebook. And a belief that knowledge, even in ashes, still had power. While others laughed at him. While his calm was mistaken for weakness. And his silence for emptiness. He spent years preparing for a day no one expected. And when the fire took everything. The radios, the signals, the digital records. Every system the soldiers relied on. Reed rose from the smoke holding the one thing no flame could destroy. The memory of how to find them. He didn't save a signal. He didn't save a map. He saved men. Men who would never again call him empty-headed. Men who returned home because one quiet soldier refused to panic when the world burned around him. Tonight, if Reed's story moved you, if it reminded you that strength isn't always loud, and heroes aren't always the ones we expect, then help this story reach someone who needs to hear it. Be sure to like the video. Subscribe to Veteran Phantom for more powerful stories of courage, resilience, and the silent warriors history forgets. And tell us in the comments, which part of Reed's story stayed with you the most? Because here at Veteran Phantom, Every story is a reminder that quiet heroes walk among us every day. And sometimes, all they carry is a burned notebook and a duty no fire can erase.